Welcome back. This will be episode 5 of our Solo World No Mods Update 11 playthrough. In this episode, we are going to be doing better food through Campfire Cooking. But before that, I need to clarify a couple of things that I said in the last episode. First, I did say you could put in orders before you have the materials at a table. It is true, but the downside to that is that the labor cost for what you put in is based on your current skill level. So if you decide to queue up a very big order, the calories needed to fulfill that are going to be based off the current skill level that you have at the time. So for example, let's look at logging. Right now I am almost level 4. Whatever I queue up right now, the calorie cost will be for level 3. So, if we look at it right now, level 3, we're getting a labor cost reduction of 30% for any recipe that we make on that is logging based. But and all that until that recipe is done, it's not going to change. It is going to be the 30% from when you queue it up. However, if I do just enough to get to level 4, I would then be at 35% reduction. So I save calories. So you don't, if you're close to the next level, don't be putting in a big one until you are much farther along and it doesn't make a difference. Or it's not going to make that much of a difference. Like when you're at level 6 and you're going to 7. Or once you get to 7, it does not, and it no longer matters. You're at max XP or max reduction. The other aspect is I haven't got into modules yet, but when you get put in modules, a module change will only affect the next cycle. It does not affect the cycle that you are currently running. The other one that I did mention is for room bonus. So we were talking about the soft cap for the room. Where the soft cap would be 10 points. Because it's low, you get 5 points of soft cap for every tier, for each tier level. So at tier 1 you get 5, at tier 2 you get 10, at tier 3 it becomes 15, and etc. So at level 2 we have a soft cap of 10. So anything more than 10 for the total room starts to have the diminishing returns. Not 10 of the bedroom items, then and also 10 of the decor. The total room, once it passes 10, that is when the diminishing returns occur. So, for example, we are at 7 now. If I come over here and add in some of the things that I normally do, such as a hewn bench, which I need 6 boards for, and a hewn table. The reason why I do bench is because it is 1.5 and seating. If we do chair, it is 1. And any further chairs are going to have a 30% reduction on top. So 2 chairs take up the same space as a bench, but it's only going to get you 1.3 not the 1.5 of a bench. So let's do a table as well. So we need 6 for the there and 6 for that, so we need 12 boards. Start doing the boards. So once we get these two into the bedroom, what we have is the current bedroom. The bench is 1.5. The table is a 1.7. So that's 3.2. To add to our 7, that'll put us over the soft cap. And once these two are in, I will show the XP for the bedroom again. But we're going to that's the Adobe. So now that we've had those two done, start clearing some of this dirt, because once we get more wood to start laying more of the roof, we'll put this dirt up top, and I will explain why, or I will actually show the reason why I said I like to have my house being underground. Alright. So, did we have any more wood? We can't reach it from here, so. We do have 13. So we're making our bench, and then we're making that. Then we'll have to go more dowels. We'll go ahead and make 20. And that means then we can go 160. Actually, we'll hold off on that. Because we should get close to level 4, like I was trying to say earlier. I'm trying to get ahead of myself. And when I said that, you know, this room was showing that it was the clay in the tier factor, saying reading the 4 clay, that's because with this being an open window, open door frame, it's counting that right there, that one, and that one. Anything touching an open space, whether it's, you know, just the external world or a stockpile that is right next to it, anything that's touching that open hole, butted up right next to it, will count in your tier. So too hungry. Now, we have this adobe, which comes in handy at this point, because we can just take the adobe, since we're going to be leveling this area out, and this is actually outside. If we were playing on a server, where we would probably just fill this back in with dirt. But since we're playing all by ourselves, we can do this and put that there. You can use wood or dirt or whatever you want. And actually, once a hammer's broken, you're using more calories. I'm changing my mind again. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it in with dirt. It's not like there's a shortage of dirt. Like I said, that's where the wall's going to end up being. That's all clay. Five more. 3 more. Alright. So we got our bench. center table. So we come down here to the bedroom. We take our table and we put it here in the corner. You'll see that we just jumped to 8.7 down there in the lower corner. So now we have the 5 on the bed, 2 on the dresser, 1.7 for the table, as it says, seating support. And as we've seen, the seating aspect can equal 30% of the room. So in this aspect, 30% of 7 would be 2.1. So this bench is not going to quite give us what we want. But we will still put it in. See, it took us to 9.1. It only gave us 0.4 out of the whole because 30% of it is seating, which is 2.1. So the most we can have is 9.1. So as you'll see, capping value of seating support 3.2 to 30% of bedroom furnishings 7, resulting value 2.1. So until I hit 10 on regular, I can't go to 3 points of seating. I'd need to have more than 10 points. I'd have to have about 11 just so I'd get the full value of both of these. Alright, so now we tore apart our hammer, so let's make 4 more. Here, our hammer. Go here, our axe is almost done again, 5%, so 19 hits. Alright, let's go break our axe so we can repair it again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, one more chop. Boom. So now we did that, we'll come here and we'll make 4 more. Go to storage, find our 4, repair our hammer. Now we'll put our axe in here. It's just general labor, so it's not going to affect anything. Next, craft. Boom, there we go. There's our star. So now we can go for campfire cooking and start making salads and porridge to try to balance out our nutrition. Problem is that the difference of our fat to our carbs and our protein. So we need to find something that has a lot of fat in it. And now our axe is down to 410. Or 336 hits, or durability. So as you can see, I'm losing 18% each time. Actually, that one wasn't 18. That was, basically seems like it was 18, but it really just turned out to be 15%. So in 2 repairs, we've killed off 1/3 of its original durability. So, we need to... Oh, wait. Campfire Cooking was a basic. So, let's take Campfire Cooking instead of Masonry, because Campfire Cooking we're going to be doing a lot of to feed ourselves. So, we ought to get better food. So, now we can make beet campfire salads. We can make charred sausage once we have butchery. We can do fern campfire salads. We can do jungle campfire salads, root campfire salads, and porridge. And to show you what these are, is porridge is a 10 carb, 10 vitamin, 4 protein, no fat. Now we have campfire salad is heavier on the vitamins because that's basically all it is vegetables, carbs, a little bit of protein, and a little bit of fat. Thing is, all of these salads are roughly going to be about the same. It just depends on what's in them. This one is mostly fruit because it is papaya, pineapple, heart of palm, which comes from the palm trees, and any green. We have root, which is the commas bulbs, the taro root, greens, and it is going to be an 8, 5, 4, 11. So the key, like I said, the key is trying to find items that you like and can find a balance or an almost balance of how you eat them. You may have to eat like 2 of this, 1 of that, 1 of this, 2 more of this over here in order to get your balance to be about even for the last 24 hours. And you can't just go, okay, right now I need a ton of fat. Well, 24 hours from now, all your fat, you're going to have a high fat level and your others are going to be down because you didn't keep the others close enough to make it balance out. You can't just look at it and say, oh, I'm short fat. I have to eat a lot of fat. I have to eat a lot of vitamins. No. Because then all of a sudden, if you're not eating any carbs and protein, those are going to be drastically down. They're going to be, in 24 hours, I could flip this if all I ate was fat and vegetables. Fats and vitamins. It could flip it back the other way to where those are the 4s, almost 5s, and the others are 1.5, 2. And then I got to go and try to balance it back out by going the other way. And it's a dangerous game to play, but some people don't really care. But the closer you are to perfect, the better off you're going to be. Because as you see right there in it, the balanced diet right now, I'm getting a minus 25% for ratio, where I've only got plus 13 in the other 2. So technically I am losing XP for not having a balanced diet. So in order to find a balanced diet of fat, see, that's mostly protein. Charred meats, I believe there's where the fat is. And the best way to get charred meat is by hunting and hunting, you need a bow, and you might as well make like 100 arrows, which is 25 crafts. Of course, I don't... Oh, I do have access to it. Damn. I didn't think it reached. That's actually still pretty close. Alright, let's take one more each of these, and we have to craft more vegetables. What of the salads, which ones do we have available to make? We do not have the greens of the fern. I knew we weren't going to do the jungle. The root, we don't have the commas bulbs or the greens. And the porridge, we'd have to find something other than huckleberries if we wanted to use fruit. Or we could actually use huckleberries. It's only one fruit. So, I mean, I only need one huckleberry at a time. It's not bad. So while we're doing this, let's go ahead, in order for the porridge, let's do a grain. And once we've done the grain, we can do the porridge. And see whether or not we like the porridge. We're going to go find the commas bulbs in the warm forest. We're going to take a run over there. See if we can find some pumpkins. So we're going to run all the way over to here. We're going to run through all this grassland after we jump the water and see if we can find what we're looking for. We're gonna have to go across that one. So we could actually jump it right there. Buffaloes are great for meat, but the problem is it takes so many shots to take them down. It takes, like, depending on how you're hitting them, it can take anywhere from 8 to 10 hits. And that's with hunting skill. There we go. Let's get some beets. We got beets. Got plenty of corn and tomatoes back at camp. Got the rice or the wheat back at camp. All right, over there. And more criminy, these are the criminy mushrooms. We want ferns now. These are our greens. There's some pumpkins. How many pumpkins? See, we just picked 4 pumpkins and we got 8. We got 12 of them to use as fruit. What else? There's the amanita. These are the ones that used to be really crappy. No, it's still technically crappy because you can, if you look close enough, you see minus 200 calories. So I mean, now they allow these to be used in the charred mushrooms, or as a fungus in the campfire stew, or in the Perozak recipe later on. But like I said, they used to not be able to be used in any of those. So you accidentally pick them up, use them for something like that. Here's our Camas bulbs. So let's pick up some Camas bulbs. These and the taro will make us the other salad. Alright, so that gave us 39. Let's dig a couple more. Let's pick up a couple more pumpkins. See if we can find a little more ferns for salad greens. All right. I think that is enough. Yeah, we got almost 100 greens, plus the beet greens down there. Maybe we'll pick up a little more beets on the way back. And we ran out of room in our carry capability. So now we need to find, there's our campfire marker, so we'll just run straight that direction. And now we could go here. And as I said, depending on how rare the item is, will depend on where you have it. So, like I said, pumpkins are pretty good, so we'll put those right like this. I mean, either of these is you'd want before your huckleberries. So then we can then put the wheat. We said these are basically junk mushrooms, so we're going to put those in front of our other ones so they get used up first if we make charred mushrooms. Our taro and our Camas bulbs are right there. Ooh, horrible. No, yuck. We do not want to be eating porridge, because it is a minus 20% tastiness. We do not want to be making any more porridge, which is fine. It's not going to kill us. What is it? First seed. There. It's like, why are you not stacking? So we got... Beets are going to go after the corn and after the tomatoes. Beet greens, beets, beets. We need our greens. Our beet greens. There's nothing specific that can be used in anything. Beet campfire. Yeah, those are used in anyone. Alright, I mean, these are only used in the campfire cooking ones. So you might as well put these ahead of these. These are used for almost any salad, even beyond campfire. Because you'll see the mixed salad, the forest salad, and there's one more. I don't remember which one it was. I guess there was only 2 salads later on, but it'll only use those 2. Alright, so seed wise, this goes in here and this goes in here. So now we got those. We can make a campfire salad. We can make fern salad. Can't make the jungle because we don't have the bamboo, the heart of palm or the pineapple. But we can make a taro or a root campfire salad. So we'll check out these salads and see which ones we like before we start making any more. I guess we're making 2 beets. Oh. Since we haven't put the work in on this one, we can actually cancel it out and we lose nothing. So we now have our first salad. That's a yuck. That's a minus 10%. So we do not want whichever one that one was. I think that was the beet. I believe that was the beet. Yep, bad. So that is a minus 10%. So we don't want the beet campfire salad. While the others are doing that, let's go pick up more wood. Do some more chopping so that we can get our level. And then we could queue up more log production. Okay, how much more do we need for logging? 35 XP. So a couple more chops of trees. Actual chops, not breaking this stuff down. So if we go to work on cleaning up a stump, we'll get our level. So when I go back, I'm going to hit a stump in order to get our level. There's our level. Now we got our level. We come down here to this and queue up our 160, not that, logs. Good thing we didn't queue that one up for 160. Alright, fern salad, yuck. Root campfire, yum. Alright, we're making root campfire salads from now on. The other salads, until we know what the jungle one is, we do not want any other salad other than root campfire. So now that we know we want root campfire, we have 18 taro available, so let's go for the full 18. Let's go ahead and make some more mushrooms because that is protein and a little bit of fat with not a lot of carbs and vitamins. Mixed with our root campfire salad. We'll have, let's see if I can get them both on the screen at the same time. Can't. Alright, so we got 3, 6, 2, 1. So that makes 11, 11, 6, 12. So the only thing missing would be fat. We're getting half the fat of every other category, which is a lot better than what, and that's just with these two items. That's a lot better balance than what we already have. So if we just eat these two items for right now, we'll be able to, what's a compass bulb? Boom, there it is, fat. So let's hope our charred compass bulbs are good for us. Whether they're okay, it doesn't matter. We just want it to be at least okay. We want it to be okay, good, or yum. So we want to see nothing, we want to see yum, or we want to see delicious. If that comes up as any of those three, we have our three items to balance out our diet. Please, please, we're praying, we're praying. It is okay. Perfect. So now we're making 16, 18, 18. So we'll make 18 of these. And the other one was the charred mushrooms. So we'll make 18 of those. So now we will be eating 1, 1, 1, and we should get close to having a very balanced diet 24 hours from now. So let's go ahead and eat these. Get rid of them. And that goes up there. This will go here. Move these up, move these up. Alright, that's fully done. So now we're looking at picking up our wood. So the problem is I've picked up spots that aren't perfect for me to do. Alright, we're at 50 minutes basically on this episode, so I'm going to put this dirt down, and in the next episode I will show the reason why I like to build underground, put my house underground, and leave the surface for as it is. You know, I have my roof here of my house, and then I have the surface up here. Actually, I can show it real quick right now. The problem is I have to make a wooden hoe. So 30 seconds. While that's doing, we'll come over here and we'll find an oak seed. So now that we have a wooden hoe, say out here, you know, this is on top of our house, right? This area right here. So anywhere like right here, we could do, let's find where it stops. Alright, it stops out here. So we're going to take our hoe, dig a spot, so it's now tilled dirt. We're going to go to our oak seed, right click, and it plants it. So now we have a baby oak being planted. And now after, I think it's 7 days by default, this will be a full-grown tree. Similar to those over there. So over the course of time, we will watch this one grow because it is now planted on our property, which would mean nobody else could cut it. It is ours. Trees, however, do need 3 tiles of space in between. So we could put another one there, and then we could put another one there. This is what you do with the seeds that you get. And each type of tree will grow in a certain biome. So the biomes in which you cut them are their best spots to grow. So let me get some more dirt from over here. So I can make that look nice the way it's grown instead of being on the edge. So otherwise you're gonna be reliant on the trees just regrowing around where they're already at. This is what you do with the seeds that you find. You replant them to produce big orchards so that it's easier for you to cut. So over the course of time, we will watch these 2 grow, or these 3 grow, to be big oak trees right on top of us. Or something like we could take the tomato seeds and put them here and grow those, or the wheat, or the corn. We could, and those could be those can be right next to each other, and you just have a row of the vegetable. It grows, you pick it, and nobody else can touch it because it's on your property unless you give them authorization to do anything on your property, on your land claim. Unless you go to authorizations and list somebody here in your multiplayer, or click everybody, they can't touch anything that's on your plot, just like you wouldn't be able to touch anything on theirs. So now that that's done and we got that, we're doing our next group of food. We're growing more, or making more wood in order to continue covering this up. And I think that is going to be this session. So, like I said, we have our 3 items that, for my character in this playthrough, the 3 items that will give me as close to a balanced diet as possible. We have root campfire, the charred mushrooms, so it's 3, 6, 2, and 1, with this one, which gives 11, 11, 6, and 12. So let's go back up to the Comus bulb that we were doing. So we will have 13, 14, 12, 13. That is about as close as you're going to get for a balanced diet early on. You can't get much closer than that. So over the course of the next couple episodes, we will see how this pie chart starts to look more like it is quartered. 25% for each one. It's going to be off by just a little bit, but not by much. And as we keep growing, we'll keep working on the house as well, trying to expand back. Expand this back by digging out that clay, digging out this limestone, working towards masonry so we can use the limestone to make statues for the house. Then we will be able to also, once we got this area cleaned out, we'll put the room going straight back. That will become the new bedroom. Behind that will become the new bathroom. That would then become the living room. And then once we get on this side will become our kitchen. So we will have all 4 rooms. But honestly, living room we won't have, because if I remember right, the items for living room we will not be able to make anything for. They don't come, most of them do not come in until after lumber skill, if I remember correctly. I mean, the kitchen will be able to make an ice box. That'll be a good start for the kitchen. Other than that, we're looking at see, this is going to require lumber, so we can't make the towel rack for the bathroom. We'll make a latrine when we get to what, carpentry too. So we need to do a lot on carpentry. Trying to think of what I need to make. I mean, I'll make a couple more tables and a couple more benches. I could make some hewn doors in order to enclose these rooms fully. Well, we'd enclose that gap, that open gap. That's all it would do, in order to increase the room tier just that little bit more. But otherwise, you know, we're just going to leave them standing wide open so it's easy to run through. We don't have to open and close the doors every time. We get to logging 4, we can make that. So we just need more boards and we can make those, or make one of those. So next time we'll queue up a nightstand, we'll queue up at least 2 more tables and 2 more benches. Probably queue up a butcher table and an ice box. And that's 5 items right there, so we'd have to actually hold off on one of them and make the boards for it all. So that's our plan for carpentry, is making 2 more tables, 2 more benches, a nightstand, a ice box, a butcher table, and I think that's it for carpentry to start with. It may not be enough to get us over to level 2 to make the latrine. But that doesn't mean that we can't do something like making a Wainwright table, which is basic engineering, or making some of these other tables that we will need for other skills, such as a tailoring table, which you need somebody around the same time as basic engineering. We could make the pottery table. Well, we don't need to make the pottery table, really. Not yet. Don't need to make the loom. We could make... That's later for... making better stuff for hunting. Farming table we don't need. Fiber stretching table we don't need just yet. Blacksmith table we don't need. So pretty much the only tables we'd be making would be the butcher table, I mean, we could make a farmer's table. We just won't get any XP for it. for making seeds. And I'm pretty sure those are all level 1 to on making seeds. Yeah, farming level 1, so we wouldn't be able to even make seeds, so there's no use in making the table. I guess we could make wooden hull planks if necessary, because we'll need those for the water wheel. Are you kidding? What? Alright, so what's in the basic engineering book? What do we need in order to make the basic engineering? Or to make the engineering pages? If we get this, then we can make these. This requires water wheels and windmills, just like it did before. But the problem with that is windmills now take lubricant. Lubricant is a classification, so it's either the lubricant at the oil refinery or making grease at a butcher block. 4 lubricant for 2 tallow. So you end up getting 2 tallow from cutting up for either rendering fat or getting it from Campfire Cooking corpses straight. Also turning fur pellets into leather. Fur pellets are coming from small animals. Hares, probably otters. Trying to think. Tiny fur cactus is, yeah, otters and iguanos. Or, oh, coyotes, wolves, and foxes are considered small carcasses. Alright, so there is ways to get that. It's just a matter of getting tallow. And even if that means, you know, it'd suck to waste scrap meat that way. Because scrap meat could go into where's butchery? It's under hunting. Scrap meat. Is used to make the raw sausages. So I guess it really depends on if, for me, if I like the cooked sausage, the campfire sausage. If I do, then, you know, that's where the scrap meat is probably going to go. If not, then I could probably make the tallow, or turn it into tallow. Or try using it in something like meaty stew, which is a campfire cooking recipe. Oh, that requires flour. So I guess you can't until you can't do that one until So the stews now require flour. They used to not require that, which means you need milling in order to make any of the stews. See, that's the problem with the way they've changed everything. But I will see everyone next time when we continue with our carpentry cooking. I'm sorry I took this a little bit longer than I really wanted to, but I got looking into stuff. I'm really sorry. But we will continue this in the next episode with more furniture, more house building, and I will see you next time. If you've liked this, if you liked what you've seen in this video, please hit the like button, and I will continue to make them until we get to the meteor destruction. So I will see you next time. Enjoy your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you happen to be at this time.